Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be talking about scales. The scale that you see up on the screen in front of you is the C major scale. It sounds like this. Something that you've heard 100 times before. We're going to take a bit of a closer look at it. First you'll notice that there's a note on every line and space from this low C to this high C. That's going to be really important when you're writing scales yourself. Sometimes a mistake that I see a lot is that students will skip over notes. If you make sure you have a note on every line and space between the two tonic notes, you'll be in a good place. Okay, so past that, let's think about how these scales are constructed. So from the C to the D, you can imagine the piano keyboard. We're skipping over the C sharp, so we're going a whole step from C to D. And we're doing the same thing from D to E, whole step. Now from E to F, there's no in-between note there. There's no E sharp, because E sharp is enharmonically the same as F. So E to F is a half step. F to G is a whole step. And then whole, and then half. So what we have here is what's called the major tetrachord, a whole step followed by a whole step followed by a half step. And the way that major scales, every single major scale is constructed is with two major tetrachords separated by a whole step. So we have whole, half, that takes us all the way to F, and then in this second measure we have whole, half again, and those two major tetrachords are separated by a whole step. So with that in mind, and I'll drag this with us, let's try making a scale on our own. So we're looking for the F major scale. We have F to start with. We know we're going to end with F. Now the way I would go about this is I would first forget about any accidentals. I would just put a note on every space and every line. So that's what we've done. We've populated our scale. Now we've got to see if this fits with the whole, half, whole, half layout that we know that all major scales have. So F to G, we know there's an F sharp in between there that we're skipping over, so that's a whole step. Same G to A, another whole step. A to B is also a whole step. So in this case we're not fulfilling what we need to with this major tetrachord. We need the A to the B to be a half step. So we know that between A and B there's a flat. So A to B flat would be the half step. And then if we look at our second major tetrachord, we have C to D, which is a whole step, D to E, which is a whole step, and then E to F, which is our half step. So the final thing we have to check is to make sure that there's a whole step between the first major tetrachord and the second major tetrachord. And the B flat to the C is a whole step because there is a B in between them. So B flat, B would be the half step, C is the whole step. Okay, so again, keeping that major tetrachord handy, why don't you have a go at D major? You can pause the video, think about what accidentals there would be, and we'll come back in a second. Okay, so you've done that, you've figured it out, so let's make sure that you're right. So again, what I would do is first populate the scale. So just put every line and space, and then we'll go back and we'll try and figure out what's missing. So in this case we need a half step between the F sharp and the G. From the E to the F was originally a half step, which doesn't fit with our major tetrachord. So we fixed that. Now this conforms to the major tetrachord. In this second part, A, B, C, D, again the half step is in the wrong place. The half step is between B and C. So to fix that we have to raise the C and make it a whole step. So now if we listen to this, it's going to sound right like a major scale.